Let's talk about the trouble and Stryfe, aka wife. No, let's talk about Stryfe, because he could be the next mutant Aegon, Corvus, mutant Aegon-y thing, ghost thing, god tier thingy my job. And even though it seems like I'm joking, like there is a little bit of shred of truth to that, in that this champion is going to be an option for Abyss of Legends and several other bits of endgame content. Also, I've put in the description and as well the pinned comment information, just taking some notes that I've done, which are one sentence things that just give you like quick things like good for Abyss as persistent, builds telepathic charges for more damage, build by build up by SP3 or SP1 invisible, do a heavy attack, charge gain. You know, they're just like quick things if anybody's interested in that. Description or pinned comment. The mechanics as listed by Kabam is Stryfe uses heavy attacks and his invisibility cloak to build telepathic charges, using these as a resource in his kit. With these charges he is able to concuss the opponent, block unblockable attacks, stun unstoppable opponents, that is major by the way, glance incoming attacks or ramp up his damage potential. Telepathic charges are also stored as persistent charges to carry throughout the quest by using SP3 or by winning a fight. All of this makes him a great option for really long and extreme fights like those found in Abyss. A full kit breakdown can be seen on the forums, and there'll probably be a link in the description to go and check it out. It probably won't be to the exact post, but it will just be saying, look, go to the spotlight section of the forum spotlight and you should be able to see it. But let's dissect a few things and talk about where there's definite usage, because like this guy is amazing. On paper that is. I'm not gonna like go, oh this is brilliant, because look, we've had this before. Things on paper look good, but when they come into actuality, they're not as good. So, you know, we'll hold our breath, I think, as a community until the champion has been put into game. Is this worth early access based on what we've seen here? Quite possibly. These are the things that are going to be important to players. Will you be able to use this champion in endgame content? Yes. Will there be aspects of utility that you'll be able to take into various different quests? Of course. There's an incredibly fun aspect to the champion when you're doing a parry heavy, that you can be a counter to champions that have evade abilities ingrained in them, which is this Psionic Blast ability. Psionic Blast occur on medium and heavy special 2 attacks. These deal energy damage instead of physical and cannot be evaded. Not to say, obviously I did restrict it to saying it's just heavy, but let's face it, most of the time when you're doing just a flurry of combos, you're going up against a Spider-Man and find that you're going to be smacked when the champion evades back and then goes and claps you one. So that's the point of going, look, do you want to keep it really simple and just go parry heavy? Maybe. That could be some really good options against evade-centric champions, like Nightcrawler as well. Very annoying champions that do evade and you're just like, ugh, why? And you're probably wondering, where does the ramp up come in with the Aegon potential comparison and others? Well, this is all down to the telepathic charges, which can be gained by various different means. I would say the SP1 does seem like a pretty solid method, as largely you'll be throwing this to then go invisible. At this point, you cannot hit the opponent or hit the whoever you're attacking. You can also not block, you should not block, and as well you should avoid the enemy throwing a special attack. And that's going to be incredibly important because it will break your invisibility. Yes, this champion goes invisible, which is pretty amazing, especially if you've seen the likes of Ghost in action, even Hood. Funny enough, Hood gets a synergy with this champion, which is pretty cool. And if you go whilst you're invisible into a heavy attack straight on, and I would say that's probably the best thing, is to maybe just go straight into a heavy attack, unless you're going to be quite ballsy. And I think it's going to like put into practice the way that you, and similar to Black Widow, where you literally take your finger off the screen and then make a decision to go like, okay, do I go down for a heavy attack, and will that kind of like work in actuality? So you're like throwing the SP1, you're invisible, and then it's in case you go into the heavy attack just straight off the bat. And then it's going to be a case that you're going to build those telepathic charges. I don't know if you're going to be able to get 2. It depends on the cycle of how quickly you're able to go like click down heavy and then click down heavy again whilst you're still invisible. Will it work? That is something to practice, but that could be a really nice way to gain those telepathic charges. Now, we've heard about telepathic charges and being quite essential to the ramp up and damage potential. So what are they and what can they really do? Well, part of the ability, which is not about the signature ability, we'll talk about that in a minute. They're unaffected by ability accuracy reduction, but cannot be gained while suffering from power lock, burn, or drain. This may mean that there's certain options of champions which would be kind of effective. You know, you've got power lock ones, I think class advantage, Doc Ock, you've got Magic, the whole host of different power lock champions. And I'm sure there'll be like plenty of videos. I might even put something about that, about some good counters. All attacks gain plus 69.72 attack rating per telepathic charge. So the more that you get, the more damage one will do. 55% chance to gain a +1 telepathic charge when landing a heavy attack. Chance increased by flat 15% for each full bar of power. There is talk about the idea of building your champion, Stryfe, up to a bar of SP3. And then it's a case of like doing a load of heavy attacks to build those telepathic charges. And you get 1 when struck by a critical hit. I don't want to be struck. And telepathic charge each time Stryfe or his opponent misses. Again, that's handy for the heavy attack ramp up and just goes into that narrative we said about. And there's some more there about when struck at 5+, striking the opponent with into their block while they are unstoppable, consumes telepathic charges and gives them a passive stun. That's amazing, by the way, to have that as a counter. I think that's one of the first times that's been the case. And yeah, we've had Stagger and other stuff that interacts with Unstoppable, but this is like the like I think one of the first times we've seen something that really suppresses and stops them down, and even like nullifies and puts them. I mean, yeah, okay, we have Beardo, but look, you know, this is really, really handy. Stryfe's heavy attack is a great way to top up telepathic charges for the more bar. Yeah, when we've just discussed that. Also, if you're able to keep up those concussions by doing the 4 light attacks, you're going to be able to block unblockables, which is nice. I like when Kabam put this stuff in because it gives other options for champions. Say if you're struggling with going up against the Grandmaster or any champion, I mean, collected to a degree in Abyss could be cool to kind of like go up against the end boss with this. And yeah, just nice to have. If you're able to hit off those 4 lights in a row, then it can be really darn handy for this situation. One of the final things to note, and I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible, so it's a nice, you know, watchable piece. But look, if you want to find out 2 last things about specials and as well the signature ability, then it's really important you stick around, because the SP3 is all about your longer fights. If you're looking to build up a lot more with gain 5 persistent telepathic charges, these last for the rest of the quest but are capped at 100. So we talked about our ability, about the ramp up and how huge and mega it is. This champion goes above and beyond. It literally will your damage output. It's going to be, I think this is going to kick off 2021 as one of the best champions to kick off with. Man, they're selling the Abyss narrative massively here. So the dev note saying SP3 is the best used in longer fights such as Abyss, since it allows Stryfe to store up to 25 telepathic charges permanently for the rest of the quest. If a fight is long enough, Stryfe will be able to hit his maximum ramp in for SP3 rotations, when he can switch over to SP1 and SP2 loop to hit massive damage very consistently. Now, again, this is all on paper. This is nothing that we've seen in game yet. He's not even in the CCP beta to play. So, to give you an idea of this, look, we'll wait until it's released, but this is, like I said, this is a massive sell piece for the start of the year as being like the big god tier of the year. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. And as well, the SP2 is more for like shorter fights. So if you're looking to do like just very quick questing, then it can be a really cool option. So yeah, that just really concludes that. And signature ability, well, this just helps out other aspects to his other abilities. So he kind of amplifies his growth of telepathic charges as well when he glances, because he does glance as well. 40% chance to gain an activate his special one, invisibility, for 3 seconds. Look, that's handy if he triggers it off. And again, if you're looking for options to save you a Heimdall in your Abyss run, then this could be a really cool option. You go invisible, and as long as you keep the collector is not throwing a special attack, and you're fine. So in that moment, you're then like, okay, I've got a little bit of breathing space, I'm ramping up the telepathic charges, I'm hitting up. But to be honest, by that time, I don't think it'll really matter. It'll be about doing a quick burst damage as quickly as possible. And as well, winning a fight converts 70% of telepathic charges into persistent telepathic charges. Again, very handy for the Abyss run and helps towards the ramp up. It makes it quicker. And I don't know, like for me, Looking at it this way, if I was looking for an option to create for Abyss, I would want to Awaken, and as well I would think about investing the signature stones into this. And I've got a Mutant Awakening gem. I'm pretty pumped for this. 6-star Awakening gem, and like the chances of getting this, as well as I am about to do an Abyss run, but maybe I'll do early access crystals. I'm not sure. It depends on what I fancy, but I also have a 5-star Mutant Awakening gem, so could be another option for this, and maybe I would wait. We'll have to see what happens in the future, but still, the synergies look cool. It looks like there's ramping up for loads of old school champions, Cable, Guillotine. I like the Guillotine one, which I'm going to test out. Lasts 30% longer and pause during either champion special attack. That's for the souls. Having the more souls on you at a certain point means that your SP3 was with the Ronan and Night Thrasher synergy means you're going to pop off a great amount of damage. And as well with Apocalypse, Big Poco gets something. He does indeed. Activating a special attack 1 or 2 increases the potency of personal burst damage by plus 25%. This can stack up to 300% max. God damn. I have a 6-star Apocalypse. I love it. I'm using it so much in variant 6. But I think that this is going to be just making it just... Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Stryfe to come into the game. But as I said, the thing to remember, this is on paper until the point you see some footage, and as well, you know, see him in action. You'll have to make that decision whether or not you like the champion or not. There's a few other like little synergies to improve, but apart from that, it is what it is. And on that note, thanks very much for watching this video. Deadpool, what's your thoughts on Stryfe?
I'm sorry, what was that? I was busy thinking about ponies. Aren't they just the cutest?
I can see where his mind's at. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye for now.